So the other day I saw this tweet and it just flashbanged me with memories. So now a few months ago, AAVE or AAVE, African American Vernacular English, which basically means slang, got a little popularity. And I remember just looking at this like, what the f*** is this, right? But in the feminism video, I made a good point that feminism is such a broad, vague, and inclusive movement / subject that there's going to be subsections, right? And some of them are going to be good, most of them are going to be harmless at mid, and some of them are going to be bad, stupid, and all the other synonyms. Now, whether you want to classify speaking out against the use of AAVE as BLM or activism, we can all agree that this is silly, childish, irrational, or at the very least, naive. And I'm going to attempt to explain this from my perspective using my own logic. So, the crusade against AAVE is silly, and I don't know how to word that because it appears to be a group of let's give them some respect. Let's say activists. So these activists want slang to be exclusive to black people, basically. And that's just stupid for a multitude of reasons. For reference, I don't think you're stupid for believing this. If you do, I think the idea is stupid. Because it's safe to assume these people want more black figures and things of that nature. Things like more black congressmen, more black lawyers, doctors, managers, actors, producers, so on and so forth. And that leads me to the first part of my disagreement with this. With the growth of the black community comes influence. With successful artists, actors, and content creators comes a lot of fans and watchers. And naturally, we all incorporate, interpolate, or downright just copy things we find cool or useful. And there is nothing wrong with being influenced. In fact, I'm willing to bet a good portion of this community feels disadvantaged, unaccepted, and discriminated against, or they preach against inequality. Well, people are more comfortable with the things they're familiar with or things they understand. So when other ethnicities, air quotes, steal our culture, or in this case, language, isn't that them getting comfortable with it? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that them understanding us? And with that I knew this was going to be a tongue twister. With that comfortability, wouldn't that integrate us more, which in turn would start filtering out that inequality? Wouldn't that lead to slang and this African American English being accepted in business circles, movies, school, so on and so forth, right? Or let's look at how destructive this is, right? If you want to condense and isolate slang to only be appropriate for black people, right? That would just exacerbate the issues this community has as a whole, right? And that is a good transition to my next point. Why are we gatekeeping? It makes no sense. English is English. When you listen to Central C and you sing his lyrics, is that ABVE, African British Vernacular English? If an Australian calls a pickup truck a ute, is that Australian Vernacular English? Even so, if a white man or kid spends the night at his black friend's house and picks up the words finna, thought, or junt, or more realistically, if a white streamer like Tim the Tatman, Valkyrie, or Symphony collaborate with like a Berlizzi, a Your Rage, or a Kai Cenat, and they pick up some of their slang like yeah, word, or indeed, why would you bully them into expunging these words out of their vocabulary? Or, that could be their introduction or their foot in the door with our community in air quotes culture. If anything, bullying white, Asian, Hispanic, British, German, blah, 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 content creators and internet users into not using air quotes our way of speaking, it's extremely counterproductive and it discourages people from working with us. Why would you attack people for using harmless words? And It's so hypocritical. And I mean, everyone's a hypocrite to an extent, but this level of hypocrisy is absolutely unacceptable. How would you feel if Chinese people said egg rolls and noodles are Asian culture, and they're going to start gatekeeping all non-Asian ethnicities from their restaurants and calling all their followers and things of that nature to harass anyone they see indulging in Asian culture? How would you feel if Japan and China gatekept anime and got shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender canceled for, air quotes, stealing their culture? So on and so forth. There's endless amounts of, things we could point out. I mean, America, anyone that lives in America, as an American, the last thing we need to be talking about is culture stealing. Our fucking country was built as besides the massive periods of racism we had, our country is pretty much this big ass melting pots of different cultures. So in conclusion, AAVE, African American Vernacular English, is stupid. Not the term African American Vernacular English. That at that point you're just giving a different name to black slang. It's just a term. Like the word itself, the acronym isn't stupid. It's just a name. It's pretty cool. But the subsection of air quotes activists who believe we need to gatekeep AAVE, and that idea and movement is stupid. It honestly doesn't have a place. I don't get it. And its assumed objective is so dumb and silly. It only resonates with people on the internet, or at least the internet equivalent of your own friend group. Even if this is a bullet point to whatever argument you have, like inequality and discrimination, the gatekeeping of AAVE is actually counterproductive to whatever issue you have. Anyways, how do you feel about the gatekeeping of slang, basically? Personally, I think it's one of those things, like, every once in a while you encounter something so stupid and out of place you have no idea how to tell them it's wrong, from the perspective of either you have no idea where to fucking start, or there's too much to explain in a short amount of time, like for example Twitter's text limit, or it's so dumb you feel like it should be obvious why it's wrong, and your brain just can't simply process how to explain something so elementary. And despite those harsh words, if you agree with the gatekeeping of, black slang, I don't think you're stupid for that. I think the idea is. We got to do a better job of separating that. Just because someone has a stupid idea or a stupid belief doesn't mean they're stupid as a whole. I have some stupid beliefs, right? Maybe I'll talk about them. That's a good video. What is stupid shit I believe in? Yeah, definitely a good video. But just because you believe in some stupid shit doesn't make you stupid. Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean you're a terrible person. But anyways, nothing I say here can change your mind. But hopefully you can see how potentially damaging this small movement is. That's so short. I feel like there's such a deeper dive to do here. I feel like there's much more to explain, but it's that simple. It makes no sense. English is English. Slang is a part of every fucking culture in the world. Every language has its slang and terms and things of that nature, and it's just stupid, especially coming from looking from an outside perspective, coming from us of all people, right? The people who want to be accepted and want to be in more things and blah, 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 all the stuff we talk about. And then we come out and say, no, you can't talk to us. Why are you stealing our culture? And blah, blah, blah. And things that it's just stupid. It's counterproductive. It's like, like when I said it's naive. It's like you want to be popular, you want more popular artists, and I'm just repeating myself. Look, this has been some consciousness. Over here you watch time and comments over everything. So if you hear my voice right now, you've done more than enough to keep this series going. That's pretty much it. So until we meet in the next video or the comments, remember, if you don't make us, we know we up next. Sponsored by Atari and
join will be hopping. The octopus said the same thing to Yoshi. It's about being patient, picking your moment. So snap out of it. You can't let a couple of losses blow you off course. You don't have to win now, just someday. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Well, it kills the octopus.